Salve, friend. Mind telling me... Oh. Yulia. Oh, all right. I'll go. Oh!
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Salve, friend. Welcome to life under the golden rule. All right, well, it was lovely to...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh, no. No. No, 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 no. Orpheus, what are you doing?
That's the...
What?
Why do you think...
I know, Please.
I'm sorry.
Please, help him. I don't know, but it's a crime for slaves to take their own lives. And Thank...
You know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone. Well, if you don't understand, it's too late for that. Yulia and I made a pact. If I backed out now, I'd be... Oh, really? But we're still in debt bondage to that monster. Yulia and I are in debt bondage to Malleolus. We might as well be slaves. Oh, I'm out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Orpheus, no! I'll have to let it, and I'd best...
Shiny. Welcome.
How'd you do?
doing here? Please leave. I said please leave. You're trespassing. Today is a sad day.
Salve again, friend. I went... How is it possible that you... Sisyphus was a Greek king. He was forcing him... Actually, Tantal... Oh, anyway, so... Oh, now, I'm going to keep your secret. Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. I know when I'm not wanted.
Arve. A new face. Arve. Interesting. I'm not sure why. Yes, I suppose that could be something. But then most of us do tend to carry coins on our person, don't we? What else? Yes, what else? That's true. I know it's as I feared. Let me ask you this. And did you happen to... I see. Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think... But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
Hey! You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you? Good. You be... Nobody's told you about Hannibal. So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. One day, a few weeks back, said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, so I go down after it, and hunched over him was something of a creature. If it was a man, maybe. More like a Strix. Or some Versipelus that feeds on human flesh. What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there. Well.
You're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Charon. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
There are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means. I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the I know it's a lot to take in, and you... That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead, meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's, of course, an obol was a kind of Greek. To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and she, you say you saw a young woman, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle, but whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing, I suspect, the only way. Good question. Let's see. In the stories, but that never made any sense to me. What doesn't... In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or... So, maybe there's something special about the coin. No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have... Now that we know where we are, we have to we don't have much to go on, except the old stories. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Hercules was able to leave the underworld. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help. So it seems you have two options. To confront the god of the... It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed, and even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. We know that. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? That option would be the boldest, but also, as I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of... Are you telling... I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, so, if you want to... Who knows? But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, the problem is, the door has been sealed. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if it looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, if you could recover and replace all... It's the towering stone monument. You'll find them all over Rome. But of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems... However, this one is unusual. That means you'll need to recover 4... I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the Perhaps Kabash, our Egyptian resident. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one. As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's said, the god of... It is. If the stories are true, I imagine she's as desperate to escape as we are. If she... The problem is, leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of... Truly? Then again, I suppose you will... Can you tell me more? Is it... Fascinating. Perhaps, if she has indeed been a... Tell me. That is strange. There are no rivers. Right. Because the current flows into the city through the aqueduct. I vaguely recall wondering what was in there. You might be able to get a key from the magistrate. But if that... Let me know if you find anything in there. All right. I would suggest not discussing this with... As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone. In any case, time is... May Fortuna guide you. Alve.
Just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. But it does not notice the crowds that come. Say it. Speak its name. Then it is true. I was right. I thought I saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I had to tell myself it was... I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. I'd found comfort in He gives such an uncanny description of this place. I cannot help but... I will do my best to remember the relevant verse. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, the shadows of the newly dead descend, entombed with full rites, and the ghosts of those, at last, given proper burial. The wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid, and the newly arrived shades are ignorant of the road that leads to the Stygian city, where Black Dis has his cruel palace. As the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls, and is never too small for any populace, nor notices the crowds that come. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the... Others follow their trades. I hope I have done, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've...
Wow, isn't that a big long bow? Oh, you're here. And I hope I'm not being... You're not like it. How dare... Oh, do us all a favour and drink hemp.
Tell me, what... Ah, yes, that cursed thing. I know exactly where it is. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I've been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the Golden Rule? Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue? Wonderful. Then let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong? I see. Then a word of advice. If you do not want you see out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable, because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrong. So to navigate this maze, we would have... So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct? Are you sure? Or is it possible that... After hundreds of years, and as many great thinkers dedicate... What hope do we have, if our best and... My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong. Surely you would agree there are circumstances where an exception may be made, such as where it is necessary for self-defense or to prevent a greater evil. For any rule, you can imagine there are countless situations in which that rule may be suspended. Those situations, if there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and so we must accept our limitations. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a lie, because the only way to create a utopia, this and no other, is the root from which a tyrant springs, and life under tyranny. I admit, I am talking. In any case, thank you. You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story. I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night, I found myself in a tavern, in an argument with a drunken mercenary. It became heated, he drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time, to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny. They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades. My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid the same fate by hiding down here. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his Furies hadn't finished the job, and he'd send them after me again. I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive. I'm afraid I am the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago, I'd not seen another person in many, many years. Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation, so I like to imagine arguments, where I argue both sides. But, like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner. As you wish. Ha! If I did, would I be living like this? Did we not discuss it at length already? You seek the plaque buried. It is a cursed object, and I would be happy to. I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, when the Romans came, in typical fashion, thus the Shrine of Persephone became the Shrine of Persephone. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, and the city's dwindling Greek residents witnessed, they gathered their art and valuables. However, there was one thing that always seemed out of place to me, an even older plaque. We had no idea until years. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and. There are certain things you must take this key. I enjoy.
Stop! Do not come any closer. Who are you? I am Kabash. And let me guess, another Greek or Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my ancestors, Trousers, boots, curious here. No, I suppose you do not. Then what do you want? To what end? That is welcome news. You really are not Greek or Roman, are you? I was planning to return it myself, but for now, I must remain. Here, take it, and restore the honor of Osiris. Now, as for the other plaque. Indeed, I have it right here. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit, and there it was. You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it. Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie. I will tell you, but first, do you know what this place is? Look around you. This place is the remains of the Duat, the underworld of my ancestors. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story, and here is what I have learned. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers, but instead of adopting our ways, they copied and corrupted them. When they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replacing it with Hades. Even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, they renamed to Charon. As if that desecration was not enough, they built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours was forgotten. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto, and the cycle began anew. I am glad to hear it. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing Osiris's name. But if that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations too, copied and corrupted from an ancient people who prospered even before us, and that my people did to them what the Greeks and Romans did to us. But this, I cannot accept. I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work of Set, the usurper, seeking to undermine Osiris once more. You will never know. This work of sacrifice... You are too late. It is done. It could not have gone any other way. Now, I am from Rakotis, which you may know as Alexandria, the name of the city the Greeks built over it. I was a fisherman, like my father before me. Since the Romans had taken over from the Greeks, I took the opportunity to learn Latin and eventually traveled to Rome. When the fires broke out last year, I tried to help. I gathered terrified locals into my boat and led many of them to safety farther along the Tiber. On my 7th trip, a passenger demanded I wait for his brother. But we were full to almost sinking, and smoke was all around us. I told him his brother would have to save himself, and he tried to bribe me by placing a coin into my hand. When I refused, he drew a dagger and thrust it between my ribs. I awoke on the banks of the river to a stranger wearing a ram headdress. He said his name was Kerti, and at the time, I simply thought him odd. It did not dawn on me until much later that he was the Kerti, the ram-headed ferryman did. This is where I belong, as caretaker of the memories of my people. I think if someone is to break the golden rule, it will not be me, due to the doer. As for the punishment that will come from it, I do not know. What could... All I know is everyone so good? Wait. You would plunge in... You are still here. When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that was not a prediction. That was a promise. You will die here. I disagree. I warned you against coming down here, against perpetuating this sacrilege. But you persisted. You have undermined and dishonored the true god of the underworld. How did you think this would end? If not, very well, I will listen. But if I sense deception, or if you further insult my gods, I will carry out my threat. So tell me, why should I let you live after you salvaged this instrument of blasphemy? Why? To what end? But why? What business could you have with Osiris? Blasphemous fool! Ha, good. I welcome it. You see, the philosopher told me I can only hope.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Die here together.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and... Oh. All right. I'll...
Salve, friend. Welcome. That's good. If you're not on edge, you've not been... Well, we've all been... I used to lay awake at night, contemplating the big question. I still don't have any of the answers. All right.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh, no. No. No, 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 no. Oh, P.S., what are you doing?
That's...
What?
Why do you...
Please...
I'm sorry.
Please, help.
You... Well, you... It's... If... Oh, but we're still... Really? Wait. So, I guess you'd want me to work for you, then. You'd... do that for us. A couple of complete strangers. It seems today... we're both... blessed. This did not... Thank you, friend. Thank you. I just wish there was some way I could repay you. Ah. And Scintilla and I were in love. And then, 22 days ago, she went missing. All right. One night a few months ago, when I was cleaning Malleolus's villa, I heard a young woman singing. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. I wasn't allowed out, so once everyone else was asleep, I climbed up the inside of the villa and onto the roof, just to see where that sound was coming from. And that's when I saw her, standing in the garden of the magistrate's villa. I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin on my knees. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. And then she looked up and saw me and she smiled. I knew at that moment the fates had brought me to her. And from the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, I knew I'd have done anything for her. And so for weeks on end, each night I'd climb out of the villa and into her father's garden. We'd hold hands and talk about all the things we'd do once we got out of here. Like having our own vineyard. And then one morning I woke up and everyone was out searching for her. They said she'd vanished in the night. Scintilla was the one thing that made my life bearable. I swear by... All I know is she loved... She'd never have taken her own life. I can't prove it, but I just know she's still alive somehow. Even now, it's as if I can hear... Somebody abducted her. I have no idea how, or who would want to do something. My guess? Malleolus had something to do with it. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is one room. I've never seen the inside of it, and I haven't been able, but I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow, let me know. I'll go and take care of things with Malleolus and tell Yulia the good news. Thanks again, friend.
Ah. Salve, friend.
Citizen.
my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. And, yes,
I'm not supposed to be in here. Talk. What business could you possibly have with me? My marital affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much. An intriguing proposition. Go on. Perhaps you're not as silly as those clothes make you look. What makes you say that? You know, I may have the very thing you're looking for. Some time ago, when he still cared for me, he wrote me a love letter. Only... Now, addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans. But in this case, I confronted him about it. I let it go, eventually, but... To withdraw. Listen, I may not be Penelope. You must think me quite mad. Domitius, come quick! Do I need to call Domitius? Do I need to call Domitius?
Hey! You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you? Well, it's...
Who are you? Did he send you? And do you know you're here? You have to help me escape before that monster comes back. I'm Scintilla. I found a way out through the Gate of Horn.
but it's locked. So I told him about it, and instead of helping me escape, he locked me up. He wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him and take his key. Sentius, my adoptive father. Furies help me. I'll castrate and crucify him. I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want us to escape either. Behind me, there's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate. I'm going to take that key from a rat. I'm done caring about the Golden Rule. There won't be enough time. There's no time. Wait. What? No. It's no use. You'll never. You'll make. You're back. Oh, he's here. If you distract him, stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
What did you do with Scintilla? Where is she? So that is how it's going to be. Oh well, it's a shame, really. You'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself. Just like that soft-hearted pleb. Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only one here. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one loop to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention or... But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his... And because of that fatal flaw, he relived this... I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine. The next time I awoke, you showed up. I'd have preferred if you'd given me more time to enjoy the trapping. Just the 7, not a lot compared with Al, but I've seen, in any case, there's no escape for you except the path that Al took. The better to end it all now than find out what awaits you beyond that portal. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it?
Attends, on est sur le Delebrum Regini. Qui est... Ah, c'est parti. Je crois. Je pense. C'est ça, il faut préparer beaucoup. J'espère que vous êtes prêts pour la semaine prochaine, la live letter. Alors on est reparti. Alors on est reparti. Et salut Halloween, comment vas-tu? Bienvenue à toi sur le live. Comment on... Et salut Halloween, comment vas-tu? Bienvenue à toi sur le live. Comment oses-tu Jean? Fais gaffe hein, monsieur Jean. 5, dites-moi sur le présent. Salut toi Tubdal, toi Lavost. Et salut Al Reda, bienvenue à toi sur le Tubdal, toi Lavost aussi. Et salut Al Reda, bienvenue à toi sur le live.
Of course. There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found... Man will always sin sooner or later. Any idiot could tell you this. But where others... As I told you the first time we met, I found a way to... By reliving the same day over and over again, forever. And I will continue living long after your dust. Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. And as long as this day keeps repeating it, I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely. To cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Do you really think you can take on a dick? Who? Scintilla? Where is she?
I'm right here, Father.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Come on, we have to go. Hey, what's happening to you? That light, it's so bright.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well, trying. It described an event about 2,000 years ago. Someone with your freed an imprisoned woman named Scintilla, who then murdered her captor. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive. Apparently, the only person to survive was Scintilla, while the stranger disappeared in a flash of light. What? God, why does it... I've spent a life... This is... So you're saying... Maybe we can... I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else is... You go on ahead. You go on ahead.
You're back! But... oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered?
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Carol, if you like. I am sorry I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and that you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been... Usually, most souls would rather not. Ask yourself honestly. As you wish. You made a purchase in a marketplace, and the change you received was, you were seen inspecting it. And soon after, the shopkeeper who had given you the coin, you both fought bravely. But your assailants, there was nothing you or he died instantly at that man's name. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Keiru. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths. Well, those stories contained a long time ago. My master created. My orders were simple. Whenever... That is a question you would have to ask him. I am just his servant. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coin... There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody... I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. And there was a tablet describing an event too. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman... My new friend here. I know how...
Maybe not that crazy. That woman...
How could you...
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across... I think she meant... Here.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever read this, but I want you to know that I will never forget you, or what you did for me. It pains me that so many dear friends were not so fortunate. Ulpius, Cynthia, Lucretia, Horatius, Galerius, poor Dooley, and the others. But please...
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story. You two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you...
You! Do you know you're here? I'm sent. He wants to keep us all. sent behind me. The only problem is I don't know. There what? What? It's your.
On your best behavior, I trust?
Oh, another one fresh. Oh, I wish Horatius would. I trust. Oh. Oh no. That's Scentilla's. The question is, what was it doing in the cistern? A skeleton? Oh, gods. You mean she's... What do you mean? But didn't Domitius say there's some kind of creep? What are you saying? That somebody crept down there and put Scentilla's amulet on another body to make... Why would anyone... But who? Who... That is an extreme... So this is... I've heard enough. I won't kindly keep your insane conspiracy theories to yourself.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I... We have? I must have entrusted you. Is that about? Seems rather brash. I think it's... You mean to ask, why am I unwilling to trust a newly... I'm sorry, but that... Yes, our water supply. Aeneas the Tactician wrote a siege... And I'm beginning to wonder... I doubt that very much, since I'll be keeping... Me? You know, you remind me of him. Al. Come now. Sure. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memory. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit He was a moralistic, and because of that fatal flaw, he relived this. I watched him come through the portal each time. was a little... And when he finally saw the futility of it all, the next time I awoke, you showed up. I mean, you've lived through the 8 times, and yet everything you've done has... Because there's no escape. Except so, you discovered my... Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have... And as long as this day, I have found a way to prolong my life. And why would I agree to that? You might want to think that through. If anyone so much as touches me, everyone dies. You and your pathetic morality. Understand that to... The only way you're getting... And if I die... You see, it was my actions that brought you to this point in time. That means if I die, you'll be flung back to your original time, having caused the deaths of everyone here. I certainly hope not. In fact, What are you going to do? Beg now, get out of...
Let me grieve. What? No.
I'm afraid it is. Because you found a way out. And if you're wondering why all I have to do is... I'm going to kill you now.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh. Really? God. You murdered. I guess the many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Kindly keep your insane...